Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our podcast series. Today, we are going to discuss on a topic that is breaking the silence. I'm your host, Nirja Manam, and today we are diving into a question I have been thinking a lot about. Why aren't more Indians into podcast? Why they are not interested in listening to some content, and why they are so much seriously busy in watching videos? Seriously, in a country that loves stories so much, why hasn't the podcast bug caught on yet? Like Americans? Why Indians don't like to listen to podcasts much like Westerners? Well, let us kick things off with something we all know. India is all about the visuals. From our grand Bollywood movies to those epic TV serials, we love watching stories unfold. We are used to seeing emotions, actions, and drama right in front of our eyes. That's probably why audio-only content like podcasts might seem a bit, different because there are no visuals. Just listening, why? They don't like. It's a change of pace that might not click right away for everyone in India, because they are much towards the emotions, expressions, and how things are happening. So they like watching videos. Nobody has time. When you don't have time, why don't you change your mindset? Instead of watching visuals, why don't you shift to listening to the podcasts? This is the question to those who are into the social media. It's easier to stick with what we know, right? And then there's a practical side of the things if we discuss. Even though internet access has improved in a lot of parts of India, data costs are still a big deal for many people, the speed, etc. So, streaming or downloading podcasts can eat up data. And if your connection is not super strong, it can be frustrating. So, a lot of people would rather use their data on something they are sure they will enjoy, like videos, rather than taking a chance on a podcast. Another point is, in India, often it's seen as a niche thing, maybe even a bit too intellectual for everyday folks. This podcast idea are only for tech savvy or people who speak fluent English, which is not true. There are podcasts out there in every language about every topic you can think of, but if people don't know that, they're not going to listen. So how do we change this? I think it starts with creating more content that speaks directly to the Indian audience in our languages about things we care about, and we need to make it easy for people to find and start listening to podcasts. Maybe then more people will realize how podcasts can fit into their day-to-day lives. Whether it's during cooking, traveling, or doing any household chores, or even in office working, this helps them to multitask. At the end of the day, the reason podcasts haven't taken off in India yet isn't just about technology or content. It's about culture and habits. But I believe that with time, more of us will discover how awesome podcasts can be. We just need to spread the word. Thanks for hanging out with me on Breaking the Silence on podcast. If you enjoyed this chat or listening to this, hit that subscribe button to our channel and stay tuned on various topics, research, things on our channel. Stay tuned to it.